What's up guys, today I'm gonna talk about splits once again. Last video, which is yesterday, was about frequency. Today I'm gonna be talking about volume. And volume isn't sets times reps times weight, that's an outdated number, or an outdated metric I should say. With volume I mean the amount of sets you do per session, or the amount of sets you do for a muscle per week. So regarding volume, there's been some people recommending up to 40 or 30 sets per week, which is honestly a crazy pool in my opinion. Um, and they're basing it off of the outcomes of some studies, or of a meta-analysis, I should say. So the outcome does show that 30 or 40 sets um, gives the most muscle growth, but there's a few key things you should also know which actually prove that low volumes can be better than high volumes. So first of all, a big thing is going to be muscle swelling. If you get to 40 sets, you're not just growing more muscle, your muscles are just being more swollen. Um, so that actually influences the outcomes of the study. So and also you can see in the strength data of the same study that you're not going to get stronger and stronger and stronger, or at least significantly, as you go up to those 40 sets a week. And those sets were also fractional, which means for your biceps, a set of lat pull downs would also count. So recommending 30 to 40 sets in a week is just insane in my opinion. Um, that's just looking at the outcomes. It's not thinking critically about the science. So yeah, my recommendations would be anywhere from, depending on your goals of course, but if you want to grow a lot of muscle, do anywhere from 6 to 12 sets a week. It's gonna depend on your recovery too. Again, you can do less sets. If you train a muscle twice a week with one set, that's already gonna grow your muscles. So if your goal is to not grow a maximal amount of muscle, um, you can do lower volumes. So for example, my abs have a low priority because I just don't care about them. So what I'm doing is I'm training them twice a week with just one set, which is going to be around 5 minutes of training per week, of course, which is not much time, which is exactly what I want. And it's still going to grow my abs, but I just don't care for the extra muscle growth. My abs are going to grow fine anyway, so I don't need to do any more sets for more growth. Um, Another topic is going to be diminishing returns. Whoa. Um, so what that basically is that the first set of a muscle in a session, so let's say your first set of biceps in a workout, it's going to be the most stimulating. Then it's going to be more stimulating than the second set of biceps in that same workout, and so on. So the third set's going to be even less muscle growth, fourth set's even less. It's not going to decrease your muscle growth, but the returns of the last set you do are going to be the lowest. So based off of that, you can also conclude that you might not want to do that many sets. So as I said, for my abs, I'm only doing one set because I know if I do another 5 sets, I'm not gonna grow them that much more. It's not like I'm gonna grow them 6 times as much because I did 6 sets. That doesn't make any sense. The first sets are going to be the most stimulating. So if I only do the first set, I'm only doing the most stimulating set. So the return on investment is very high on doing first sets. So what I actually recommend is doing around 1 to 3 sets for a muscle in a session. You can do more. This is also going to depend on the frequency at which you train, because if you're training muscle again in 48 hours, you can recover from less sets than if you were to have an entire week to recover, of course. So in 48 hours, you might find that you can recover from around 2 to 3 sets, depending on how advanced you are. If you're training muscle twice a week, so 3 or 4 days to recover, You might find you can recover from up to 4 or 5 sets, maybe even 6 if you're not very advanced yet. So what you should be doing is actually experimenting with volumes. And when I say the amount of sets that I just mentioned, I mean sets taken close to failure or even all the way to failure. Next up, something else I want to mention is some science-based lifters have been saying most adaptable or adapting volume over maximum recovering volume, or I should say maximum adapting volume over maximum recovering volume, which is true, but basically what that means is the amount of sets that you can recover, wait, no, the amount of sets that you do at which you improve on the most, so you're getting stronger at the most, is going to be the best amount of volume for you, which is honestly just a circular definition because the best, that's pretty much just saying the thing that you do that gets you the most results is going to get you the most results because strength and muscle size are very directly correlated. Or I should say, muscle growth is going to cause extra strength relatively. So that's not a very good definition. In my opinion, you should just look at general guidelines of what you can recover from, experiment for yourself. Right, so how you can know if you're recovering from your training is first of all to see if you're progressing, but if you want to know it on the short term, you can be recovered, train a muscle, rest, train a muscle again, and if the second time you're training a muscle, you're able to match your strength or get stronger, that likely means you've recovered. So this is something you can also experiment with. I think that's it for this video. I hope you learned something. Let me know any topics in the comments. Thanks for watching and subscribe if you want more tips tomorrow. Bye.